Hello everyone and welcome to the second one of Authentia Talks. Today we will dive into the world of digitization and automation in civil engineering. And for that we have with us Inga Maria Georgadze. Welcome Inga Maria to the studio.
Hello Vasilina, it's nice to be here.
A bit of background information. Inga Maria is a PDeng candidate in the Civil Engineering Department and more specifically in the Construction Management and Engineering specialization of the University of Twente. PDeng is a postmaster design-oriented program where engineers are facing a real-life problem and they are called to design a practical solution for it. The problem context is offered by an external organization which the candidate and the university collaborates with. During this two-year program, the candidate receives a tailor-made educational plan as well as a design of this project. Construction management is the area of managing the infrastructure projects, like, for example, building bridges and generally the road network. But first, let's start with some personal questions about Inga Maria. So, where are you from?
So, I was initially born in Georgia and then I moved to Greece where I was raised there and I studied civil engineering in the Democritus University of Thrace.
Perfect. And when did you exactly decide to move from Greece to the Netherlands and for which stage of your educational path?
So once I finished with my studies in Greece and after having worked for a year as an engineer, I decided to do my master's abroad. And the choice of Netherlands came naturally because of the nature of my field. So the engineering achievements of the Netherlands are worldwide known after all.
Yeah, that's very true. So that made you move to the Netherlands, and why specifically you chose for the University of Twente to pursue your master's degree?
Yeah, the Construction Management and Engineering Masters that I followed is actually part of the 4 Technical Universities Federation, which means that the same program is taught in 3 different technical universities in the Netherlands, but each university has a focus on a different aspect. The University of Twente focuses in more management issues, and I chose that because I felt that my background, studies in Greece, had a much technical aspect. So I felt that I'm missing that skill.
Okay, so the management component of the degree at the University of Twente made you wanted to come here to continue your civil engineering studies with a management perspective. Exactly. Really good. And during your studies at the University of Twente, did you have to change city or even country for your internship or your master thesis?
I indeed had to. While I was doing my master thesis, my project was hosted by a company which was founded in Gouda, and for that I had to move and live there for a semester.
Okay, Gouda is a really nice city, however, in the other side of the Netherlands that we are now. And what were the practical challenges that you found?
So the company that hosted my project was a purely Dutch-spoken company, but other than the language, I would say that I did not face much challenges. I think that I adjusted to the corporate environment rather easily.
Mm-hmm. So the main difference was that during your studies you were taught in English, you were speaking English, but then for your internship you had to move to a company where mostly Dutch was spoken. So that was a challenge for you. For now, what are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm doing a PDeng in the field of road construction. In my project, I am called to develop a digital twin for asphalt pavement, or in other words, it is a digital model that reflects the behavior of an asset using real-time sensory data and Internet of Things. My project is hosted by Rijkswaterstaat, which is the Dutch client, the Dutch public client for road construction. And it's also part of the ASPARI network. And ASPARI stands for Asphalt Pavement Research and Innovation. And it is a collaboration between the University of Twente and a network of contractors working on the infrastructure field.
Very interesting. And if you say that you are mostly working on road network, my next question is, where do you actually work? Do you have a home office, as we do, for instance, or do you really have a place where you work? And also, are you working alone, or are you collaborating with others? And do you have meetings, or is it a complete computer work?
So I have an office here on campus, and I spend most of my time working there, but depending on the day and what I have to do every day, I can even stay and work from home, and this is rather flexible. I also sometimes work on the field, where me and some colleagues of mine are invited by the companies from the Aspari network to participate in the asphalt paving projects and do some measurements there. And this is actually part of the wider research topic within the Aspari research group. And what we do is we measure the temperature behavior of the asphalt, and we correlate that with paving processes that we observe on site, with an ultimate goal to extract information about the end quality of the pavement. My project itself, it's independent, however, it's part of a larger research team within our department. So there are more colleagues working on the topic of the digital twin. However, every topic is focused on a different aspect, let's say. So more specifically, my project, the topic of my project is about how to visualize road construction data in a digital twin. And I have colleagues that work on the life cycle data structure of a digital twins, or the machine learning algorithms about how to use a predictive approach.
Great. Sounds a project with so many different aspects, and also quite a great job, since you can be also working at home. You have your own office here at the university, but you also have field work. I think you're never getting bored in this
Exactly.
job. And also a last question about your PDN is if you can tell us more about the structure of the 2 years. And is there a thesis included? Do you have to write a research paper? When are you taking courses? And if you are you taking courses actually? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Of course. The duration of a PDN project is 2 years. Within those 2 years, we are called to take some courses, the choice of which is tailor-made and it's customized according to the needs of each project. Then we need to design a solution for an actual practical project, and we need to write a thesis about that. The structure of those 2 years is flexible, so there are students that can choose to either do the courses on the first year and write and work on the project and write the thesis on the second year. That can even happen vice versa, or even work on those two in parallel.
Okay, sounds quite flexible indeed. And are you satisfied so far with this choice for a job? And if any, what are your future plans and possibilities after finishing a PDN here at the University of Twente?
I am indeed satisfied with my choice. I really enjoy the working environment and sharing my daily routine with my fellow researchers. I also really enjoy the fact that I'm working on a hands-on project rather than a theoretical research. And however, since the PDN is a quite condensed program, it can be that the workload can be overwhelming sometimes. And after finishing with a PDN, someone can job directly in the industry, or even continue academically by purchasing a PhD, I'm sorry.
PhD, yeah. And I think that's also the main difference with a PhD, that is mainly research, and as you say, can be sometimes boring or lonely, they say. But you have this nice combination of research and actual work at company or even field work, so that makes it quite interesting, but maybe also challenging sometimes. And you know, we are at a really technical university here. We are also the most entrepreneurial university in the Netherlands. So my next question is, do you think that in your field, is it possible after the PDN to start your own company? And if not you, somebody else, can somebody start an own company after finishing a PDN?
Considering that the product of a PDN project is an actual artifact and not a theoretical research, I believe that the transition towards a startup should be rather easy. And as far as I know, there are also many ways that the university helps their students to implement their ideas. For example, there is Novelty, which is a startup incubator that supports students by either consulting them or offering financial grants.
Yeah, true. And can we dive a bit more into your thesis proposal? Can you make it for us a bit clear and simple, and also for the audience? How is your thesis contributing to society?
Okay, so to easily describe what I'm doing in my project, as I said, I'm going to develop a digital twin for modeling the way that road construction data should be represented. And so the sensor technologies and the other data collecting technologies that we have already offer a big variety and large amounts of raw data, but this does not necessarily mean that we can gain enough knowledge out of it. What I intend to do is to develop a methodology of how to structure that and how to visualize that data in order to make the most out of it, in order to enable a predictive and proactive approach for asset management.
Mm-hmm. So that is basically what you want to achieve via your thesis. And why did you pick this project and not something else? What made you interested in this specific topic that you are working on?
I have actually been working on that field for a while, since my master thesis was also in the topic of digital twin. And once I finished with my thesis, I was offered that position, and I felt that it was a great chance to continue my research on that field and go a bit deeper.
Okay, so that was a smooth transition, let's say. Okay. And we move to the last part of this interview. And my question now is, can you tell us one of the major challenges humanity will face in the future that is directly related to your field?
So we don't need to speak about the future. We are already facing challenges regarding the climate change and the lack of resources, meaning both material and energy. Mm-hmm. So there is much effort in my sector put into adopting more resilient construction approaches and more circular management of resources.
Mm-hmm. And do you think as a scientist that people are sufficiently aware about that?
I believe that the practitioners and the domain experts are indeed aware of those needs, and also the Dutch national policies put much pressure in adopting more resilient and more circular approaches for construction.
True, yeah, that's very true. And for you, what would that mean for the majority of the population failing that challenge? How would our life change?
Since we are talking about big-scale projects within construction, I believe that if those fail, then the consequences will affect people in many ways. Mm-hmm. We are already experiencing an energy crisis, and we can see how this affects the entire world. And this highlights the need to switch to more sustainable and more alternative energy resources. Mm-hmm. And also regarding the resilient construction, what we are building now may need to undergo unforeseen climate conditions. So if we don't take that into consideration now, we may even experience casualties in case the infrastructure fails.
Yeah, what you say is very true, and I hope also the audience takes that message really seriously after this video. I think we are in the end of this nice interview. Thank you, Inga Maria, for being here with us. We gained a lot of valuable insight in your field, but also how it is applicable to the everyday life and society. We are done here, but if somebody from the audience wants to ask something, Maria, feel free to reach out to us and comment on that video. And also, if you want to follow a similar course, master course, and get a similar career path like Inga Maria, check our master program in construction management and engineering at the University of Twente. Bye!